Are we still waiting for somebody? Are we still waiting for somebody?
2 seconds.
Huh?
Kommt gleich jemand, der das Q&A leitet.
I hope you all speak English. That's a relief. Yeah.
Okay or not?
My German is absolutely terrible.
Aber ich mache die Konversation ganz gut lesen, auch komplett.
This is Dirk. This is your translator.
You were introducing me, right?
Yep, I try. Right. Okay, any questions?
I'll tell you before we start. I'd just like you to remember that I've been around and I've been in the business for a long time. Star Wars was one of about 30 or 40 films that I've done. Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi were 3 films which I did in my career. I had a very interesting career, weightlifting and bodybuilding and weightlifting prior to Star Wars and everything happening. And there's lots of things which are happening now, which I can talk to you about later on if you want me to talk about them. But I'm going through a very interesting period in my career at the present moment. So if anybody got any questions you want to ask, just if you can speak in English, I can answer you in English, all well and good. If not, you're going to translate for us. Okay. Right. First question. Anybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Start. Okay. What was your original height in episode 4?
6'7". 2 meters.
2 meters.
2 meters. Yeah. I've gone down a bit. I've had a series of hip operations.
Yeah.
And every time I have a hip operation, I just go down a little bit. By the time I finish, I should be the same height as R2-D2.
Is it right that
I just last May, I went into hospital for a really serious operation, which is why I'm hobbling around on a crutch. I had my hip, my femur, and my knee all replaced in one go. And so they told me it was going to be a year to get over it. When they did the job, they rang me up and they said, "Are you superstitious?" And I said, "No, not at all." They said, "Well, we're going to do your operation on Friday, May the 13th." So anyway, so they did the operation, and I'm still recovering from it, which is why I'm hobbling around at the moment. Right.
Is it right that this in episode 4 this was just one suit, one helmet, and one armor, nothing more for filming? Is that right?
That was well. They had mine,
Yeah.
and I don't think. See, in episode 1 there was no. I didn't have a stuntman in episode 4. But I had a stuntman when I came to do the fight with Mark. I had a stuntman in then. But I did all the sword fighting with Alec Guinness in episode 4. But so they must have got in another suit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
But in
yeah.
episode 4 it was just one.
Pardon?
Right. In episode 4.
In episode 4 there was just one suit. Yeah.
Did you have any props at home from that time?
No, I never. I'm not one of these people who goes stealing things off of the movies.
Towel or something?
No. I think I've still got the original script. I think I've still got that somewhere. But there's no script. There was no script on Empire, and there was no script on Jedi either.
Yeah.
So all we used to do was get our pages. They used to send your pages down on a motorbike the night before, and you had to sign to say that you'd read. They were paranoid about secrecy, and so you had to sign the pages to say that you'd received the pages. Then you had to learn your lines overnight, and then go into the studios the next day, and hand your pages back into the studio, sign them back into the studio, and then go off and do your little bit of acting. Yeah. They were absolutely paranoid about secrecy. Yeah. And it got even worse. It got even worse on 6. Yeah. Go on.
All right.
Yeah.
I've written down here. Which of your own scenes as Vader do you like best?
I think I enjoyed the scenes with Alec Guinness. I like the and I very much enjoyed the bit where I choked Admiral Moti. That was in that scene I thought was a particularly good scene for me. Yeah. But in the sword fight, I was not a great lover of the sword fight, as it were, of the duel. I did all the fight with Sir Alec Guinness, and we had what happened when we got the part. They had a lunch to introduce me to Sir Alec, and then they wanted to introduce us to the stunt arranger for the film, because at one stage in the film I was obviously going to fight and kill him off. You know? And so what they did is they introduced us to the stunt arranger for the film, and then it was arranged that Alec Guinness was going to learn to do the fight with a stunt arranger up in where he lives, which is miles away from where I live. And I was going to work with another stunt arranger up in North London. And then when the two of us got together on the film, I used to say to him, or he used to say to me, you know, do you want to? Should we go next door? There's a studio which is quiet. So let's go in and practice. So we used to go with two grown-up men scrapping around with sticks.
Yeah, is there anything after all the years that you have changed on the role of Vader? Yes.
I would have changed.
Yeah, if you've been the director at that time, is there anything you have to make different?
Well, the thing is that everybody comes up to me and say, well, they said, of course, it wasn't your voice, was it, not in Star Wars? And I said, no, they overdubbed it with James Earl Jones. And all sorts of silly stories came out about as to why they overdubbed my voice. The real reason is that I did the voice all the way through the film, but everything I was saying was coming through the mask. So I knew then that there was no way that they were going to be able to use all the dialogue that I was saying. And so it didn't make too much difference whether I was sort of acting seriously or putting anything on, or you know, just sort of almost reading the lines, you know. And then of course when the film finished, they chased back to America because they couldn't get all the special effects that they wanted. And then when they were in America, they then had to decide what they were going to do, because it was either a question of bringing me all the way over from London to Hollywood, for instance, and then doing the voice in the sound studio, and it not being right, or alternatively getting probably one of the world's great voiceover artists, James Earl Jones, to come in and do it. And obviously, from a money point of view, it was much cheaper to get James Earl Jones. But there was nothing wrong with my voice. There was no reason why I shouldn't have done it, other than the fact that everything that I'd done prior had all been behind the mask and was no good, really no good at all, not for reproduction purposes. It was okay because Alec Guinness could hear me and the director could hear me, but that was as far as it went. Okay, and the next. Go on, you must all have questions. Yes.
You are a great actor in bodybuilding also.
Yeah.
And I heard a funny story that you got the script to Conan in the early beginning, and you said, "Oh, what a bullshit!" Is it true?
I was very pally with a well-known film producer called Milton Zabotsky. And Milton Zabotsky rang me up one day, and he said he used to run a company called American International Pictures. He used to run it in Great Britain. And he rang me up one day and he said, do you read sci-fi? And I said, no, I'm not a great lover of sci-fi. And he said, well, do me a favour. He said, go and buy yourself a Conan book. He said, because it looks as though I'm going to be doing the Conan movies, and I would very much like you to play Conan. You see. So I went away and I bought one of these Conan books. I thought, oh, what a load of rubbish. You know, I really didn't like it. I didn't get very far with it, to be perfectly honest. And then the next thing I know is Milton Zabotsky goes and dies. You see, he died. Yeah. You see, and so I thought that's the end of it, as it were, you know. And then the next thing I know, the rights to the movie, or the rights to the Conan story, has gone to America, and has been picked up by Dino De Laurentiis or something like this. and they wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger to do the part. So that was it. That was the end of my Conan story. Yeah. And I had a similar thing happen actually on one of the Bond movies. One of the Bond directors called me up, and he said, I'm going to be doing the next Bond movie. And he said, there's a great part in it for you. I said, what is it? He said, it's a character called Jaws. Jaws. And I said, yeah. No, he said, you've never done a Bond film, have you? I said, no, not really. I was Frankenstein in Casino Royale, but you can't really call that a Bond movie. And he said, great, that's lovely, good. Anyway, before we could get very far, he got the sack. The director got the sack off the movie, and they replaced him with somebody else. And the second director came in and wanted to play Richard Kiel, and so I missed out on Jaws as well. So I could have been Conan, I could have been Jaws, and I could have been Darth Vader. Well, I was Darth Vader, yeah. Pretty nice little trio. Yes.
It is very difficult to act for George Lucas because his opinions are.
I didn't find it all difficult at all. I went in, did what I had to do, and he was very quiet. He didn't say very much. I mean, he hardly ever spoke to you. It was quite strange, you know. No, he wasn't sort of fantastically demanding or anything like this, you know. And it was just a person I think he realised that you were fighting against, you know, the deprivations of the mask and the heat and everything else that was going on. And we shot Star Wars during the hottest summer we've ever had in Great Britain, like, you know, and you used to keep out of the suit as long as you possibly could. I used to go into the studios first thing in the morning and just put the trousers and a t-shirt on, nothing more, and used to spend as long as I possibly could. And then I used to rehearse. I used to rehearse just like that as well, just with the boots and the trousers and the t-shirt. And then they would call you for rehearsals, and then you'd have to put most of the suit on. But I kept out of the mask and helmet and also the capes, because that was the thing which were the stifling things on the movie. And but then of course they would say, well, now we want to rehearse on film, and then we want to film, so then you have to put the rest of the complete suit on. But you used to keep out of it as long as you possibly could. Anybody else? Any more? Let me tell you a little bit about what I'm about to do. I don't know whether you know or not. It's been made all the news, but some time ago, so a couple of years back, my brother had prostate cancer, and he got over it. He got over the problem, and then he turned around to me one day and he said, Dave, he said, I'd love to do something for the Prostate Cancer Association. You see, can we do something for the charity? And I don't know whether you know. I don't know what it's like over in Germany, but prostate cancer is one of the biggest killers of men that there is, and most of it can be a lot of the deaths can be avoided if men went to their doctors earlier and weren't so embarrassed about having prostate cancer. And anyway, so I said, you're a golfer. I said, why don't we organise a golf tournament? You see? So we organised this golf tournament, and it was hugely successful. And we actually raised about over £1,000 for the Prostate Cancer Association. And the lady from the Prostate Cancer Association came down to receive the money, and then she said to me, I gave her the cheque, and she said to me, oh, have you ever been tested for prostate cancer yourself? And I said, no, I'm perfectly all right, thank you very much. There's nothing wrong with me. You know? And she said, well, all men over 50. They now say all men over 40. They said all men over 50 ought to be tested. It's just a straightforward test, you see. So I sort of poo-pooed the idea, and I thought, I'm perfectly all right, thank you very much. And a couple of weeks later, I had to go and see my doctor about something totally unrelated to prostate cancer. And I said, oh, do me a favour, can you give me a chit to go and get a blood test done, because for prostate cancer, you see. So I went over and had it done, and the next thing I know, I get a phone call saying, would you like to come in and see us, because your blood tests were suspicious, you see. So I went in, and then they did a biopsy, and then they came back and said, we're terribly sorry, but of the 9 samples that we took for your biopsy, I think 6 of them turned out positive. So you've actually got prostate cancer, you see. So I then had to decide what I was going to do about it. So I decided to have radiotherapy, and I had a great long course. I think it lasted about 4 or 5 months, going every day having this radiotherapy. And at the end of it, I'm perfectly okay. You know, no problems. Got rid of it, like no problem. And but now what's happened is that because of who I am, because I'm Darth Vader, and I used to be the figurehead of the British government's road safety campaign. I'm like a public figure now in Great Britain. And what's happening at the present moment is that the prostate cancer and the breast cancer associations are amalgamating, they're coming together, and they're having a big charity push as from the beginning of March. And I was invited to go to a photographer's studio, and I have 300 pictures of my face taken, 300 in 2 hours it took to do this. And these pictures are now going up all over the country, all over Great Britain. They're going in also the Marks and Spencer stores, and they're going up on the backs of buses, they're going into bus shelters. So my face will be shining out, looking at everybody, advising everybody to go see their doctors. Yeah. But so that's going to be very big. And we just launched another charity for young drivers as well, which I'm sort of figureheading as well. So there's lots happening at the moment. Anybody else? Anybody else got any more questions? Come on, somebody must. Yes.
One general question: do you prefer playing evil characters, bad characters?
Oh yeah, yeah. They're much more fun. Yeah, they're much more fun. I don't think I've ever played a goodie apart from when I was doing the road safety campaign, which I was working with all the kids. No, I think that the creatures and monsters.